It was supposed to be an ordinary evening at the downtown luxury hotel. Soft jazz in the background, crystal glasses clinking, laughter floating under golden chandeliers. But beyond the polished marble and elegant smiles, a quiet cry for help echoed in the women's restroom, one no one seemed to hear. By pure chance, a single dad named Mark Turner, exhausted after a double shift, walked down that same hallway at exactly the wrong, or maybe the right, moment. What he saw next would change three lives forever. Hey everyone, welcome back to HOA Chronicles, where true, powerful stories remind us that kindness still exists even when the world looks dark. If you believe in courage, compassion, and doing what's right, please like this video, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps us keep spreading hope through stories like this. Mark Turner never thought of himself as a hero. He was just a hardworking mechanic from Ohio and a single father to his 10-year-old daughter, Lily. After losing his wife 3 years ago, his world had turned quiet, gray. His days were simple: fix cars, make dinner, help Lily with homework, and fall asleep before the next long shift. That night, Mark was at the Hilton Grand Hotel, repairing a broken air conditioning unit. It was past 9 p.m., and he was drenched in sweat, counting the minutes until he could go home and kiss Lily goodnight. Before heading out, he stopped by the restroom near the ballroom. Laughter and music poured from the gala next door, a world of suits, gowns, and champagne, so far removed from his own. He didn't know it yet, but among those glamorous guests was Rebecca Miles, the brilliant and confident CEO of a top tech company, a woman who had built her empire from scratch. But tonight, even her power couldn't protect her. Rebecca had stepped away from the ballroom to take a private call when two men, colleagues she vaguely recognized, followed her out. Their tone was friendly at first, but when she tried to leave, one of them blocked her way. "Come on, don't be like that." One slurred, reeking of alcohol. Rebecca froze. Her pulse raced. Before she could react, they cornered her and forced her inside the women's restroom. She cried out, a soft, broken sound that vanished under the music. And that's when Mark entered the hallway. He heard something, faint but wrong, a muffled voice, a struggle. His heart began to pound. He could have kept walking. It wasn't his problem, but something inside him, the same instinct that made him protect his daughter, told him he couldn't stay silent. He pushed open the restroom door. The sight froze him. Two men towered over a terrified woman, her back against the marble counter, eyes wide and pleading. "Hey!" Mark shouted, his voice echoing. "What the hell is going on here?" The men spun around, startled. "Mind your business," one growled. But Mark stepped forward, fists clenched, adrenaline surging. "She said no." "You heard her." One of them lunged, but Mark blocked the blow and shoved him hard. "Get out," Mark said, his voice shaking but firm. "Before I call the cops." For a moment, they hesitated. Maybe it was the fire in his eyes, or the realization that this was over. Cursing under their breath, they bolted from the room. Silence followed. Rebecca trembled, tears finally falling as she adjusted her dress. Mark turned away, giving her space. "You okay, ma'am?" he asked softly. She nodded, voice barely above a whisper. "Thank you. I didn't think anyone would hear." Mark smiled faintly. "Guess I was in the right place at the wrong time." Rebecca almost laughed through her tears. "No," she said quietly. "The right place at the right time." Security arrived minutes later, and the men were arrested. Rebecca gave her statement, still shaken but safe. Mark waited quietly outside, ready to slip away unnoticed. Before he could leave, Rebecca approached him again. "You saved me," she said. Mark shrugged. Anyone would have done the same, but they both knew most people wouldn't have. The next morning, life went on. Mark dropped Lily at school, fixed cars, ate lunch at his desk, never mentioning what happened. To him, it wasn't heroism. It was just humanity. That evening, his phone rang. "Mr. Turner?" a calm voice said. "This is Rebecca Miles." He froze. Oh, Em smiles. Are you all right? I am, she said warmly. Because of you. Can we meet tomorrow? I'd like to thank you in person. The next day, they met at a small cafe. Rebecca looked composed again, confident, but her eyes softened when she saw him. You reminded me, she said, that good people still exist. I've spent years chasing success, and I forgot what really matters. Courage, kindness, decency. Mark smiled humbly. I just did what anyone should. Rebecca shook her head. Then I wish more people were like you. She handed him a card. If you ever need anything, a favor, a job, call me. I mean it. He thanked her and left, unaware that her words would change his life again. 2 months later, the auto shop closed. Bills piled up. Mark tried everything to stay afloat. Then, one morning, his phone buzzed. Mark Turner, this is Rebecca Miles. Come to my office. Her assistant guided him to a high-rise conference room with a skyline view. Rebecca smiled. I told you if you ever needed help, I'd be here. We're launching a new automotive division, and I need someone who understands real work and real people. I want you to lead it. Mark blinked, speechless. Me? But I'm not an engineer. You're more than that, Rebecca said softly. You're someone who acts when it matters. That's the kind of person who builds real things. Tears welled up in his eyes. I don't know what to say. Say yes, she whispered. And he did. Months later, Mark was thriving, leading a team, giving Lily a better life, all because of one moment of courage. Rebecca often told her board the story, not about the attack, but about the man who stepped forward and reminded her that kindness isn't weakness. It's strength, pure and quiet, because sometimes life gives us a single moment to choose between silence and action. Mark chose to act, and that one decision turned strangers into friends, fear into hope, and darkness into light. So, if you ever find yourself at that same crossroads, remember, even small acts of bravery can change someone's entire world. Because kindness isn't what we do when others are watching, it's who we are when no one is. If this story touched you, hit that like, subscribe to HOA Chronicles, and share it with someone who needs a reminder that heroes still walk among us, quietly, kindly, and always at just the right time.